Alright, well here we are with some blue-red Prowess trying out the new hotness of Expressive Iteration. This is some tech from Strixhaven that I've seen lots of people posting about, potentially just being an upgrade to light up the stage. So you'll see in this list we have 0 light up the stage, and I just took the 4, replaced them with Expressive Iteration. I wouldn't always play 4 light up the stage, but I think when you're trying to test out a new card like this, you really want to draw it pretty frequently to see when it's good and when it's bad, and then you can kind of scale back and adjust your numbers if you want, or, potentially fall in love with it, decide you want all 4, or, maybe even just cut the whole thing, who knows. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying basically a pretty stock blue-red Prowess list for the most part. Threats of Stormwing Entity, Sprite Dragon, Soulscar Mage, and Swift Spear, the usual suspects. And, a couple of extra burn spells and burst lightnings. But for the most part, some pretty typical stuff, trying to see if Manamorphose is still as busted as ever. And the sideboard just pulled from a stock list as well, too. So all looks fairly simple. We're going to run into a league and kind of see how things roll through that. And, yeah, I'll see you in match number 1. Alright, so round number 1, here we are winning the die roll, which is super important in this deck. Ooh, pretty solid hand. Excuse my notifications there. Yeah, pretty solid hand. I mean, an obvious keep. We get to turn 1 threat into turn 2 threat into turn 3. Just, go off Manamorphose and Lightning Bolt, and we'll see what else kind of things we end up drawing here. But all seems pretty good to me. Get in there. Bam. Got him. First blood. Alright. Opponent's not doing much. One thing to consider is this could potentially be Shadow, and if that's the case, these little attacks aren't great for us, but in this current stage of Modern, Watergrave is probably more likely to mean Esper Control than it is to mean Shadow. So we'll see. Ooh, that's pretty good. I guess we'll just start there, huh? Yeah, we'll just start there. Seems fine. Because this way we get to play a land off of it. Should be pretty sweet. Yeah, it is Esper Control. Cool. So probably like gonna mana leak this or something would be my guess. Yep, it's fine. Nope. Now the question is, do we want to bolt them? Probably. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah. So we're putting them down to 5. We're not soft to a Kaya's Guile here, although, I mean, them gaining 4 does matter. Okay, yeah, so it's Esper Control. Them gaining 4 does matter, but it's not, like, the end of the world by any means. So we got 2 Disputes and 2 Spell Pierces for this. I don't think there's anything else we want. We could consider, like, Tormod's Crypt to snag their Snapcasters or something, but I just don't think that that's really necessary. And then in a matchup like this, I like to take out the Phyrexian spells because Gut Shot and Mutagenic Growth are both pretty solid, like, Game 1 cards. But you really don't want a card like Mutagenic Growth when they play a bunch of removal spells, and a card like Gut Shot just isn't really, like... You're not getting your mana's worth, even though it's free. Like, 1 damage is not worth your mana most of the time against a deck like this specifically. Because they're more likely to kill your creatures, and if they kill your creatures, then it's just pay 2 life to deal 1 damage, instead of, like, pay 2 life to deal 1 damage and, trigger Prowess 2+ times or something. Maybe it'll trigger it once, right? We're not going to win the game if we never have creatures, but, it's just not, it's not an ideal card that you're looking for, essentially. Alright, well, an obvious mulligan here, which is a bummer. We had 2 pretty solid sideboard cards, but at least we get to make the decision easily. This is going to be a keep. I guess we just have to put this Mystical Dispute back, which is kind of a bummer, but without blue mana in sight, I think that's the correct choice to be making here. Yeah. Probably going to get punished by drawing a blue land. Nope, drew our last. Basic. Alright, well now every land, I believe, produces blue that we have left. I'm pretty sure. Let me take a look. Oh, we have 4 mountains in this list. Okay, so there's 1 left. 1 left currently. Suppose we could have gone to combat first, but I think this is fine. And I'm not gonna cast any of these spells right now, only because, uh, you know, it's an additional prowess trigger to cast any of them this following turn, so I think that that's better for us. Alright, well, let's just attack. See what they do. Can just fire off some of these, I guess. And yeah, sure. Let's get a lava dart in there. So that's 16, taking 6, dropping to 10. But we have to assume that one of these is going to die to like a Kaya's Guile or something. If the Kaya's Guile end a turn, I kind of want to have already used this lava dart. So let's just do this now. And then if we bolt, they drop to 12 and we have 10 damage, but they're probably, I mean, I think this is still our best line. I don't know if it means this is all going to work out for us. This probably does mean the Kaya's Guile is happening now, or sure, Mana Leak, that's fine. Mana Leak is fine because now they're still taking, 10 damage, assumedly, or they're fetching to shock to push. Oh, they're not pushing. Okay, so they're taking 5, dropping to 4. Wow, that's pretty good for us. All right, so that's Supreme Verdict. It's fine. Monastery Swift Spear for lethal? Not quite. All right, pass here. Swift Spear obviously would have been our best draw. A Bolt would have been good. A Burst Lightning would have been good. Lava Dart would have been good. Any of those would have been pretty solid. But we're not in a rush. Obviously, a Kaya's Guile is bad for us if they get to gain 4, but it's not anything that we can't, that just slams the door shut necessarily. Is this another Supreme Verdict? Wow, okay. So now the question is, do we just hold that in case we draw ourselves a Stormwing or a blue spell? I think the answer is yes. Yeah, I don't think we need to do this now. And that Supreme Verdict right there tells me that they don't have a Kaya's Guile, so we don't need to be trying to rush to kill them like this turn or anything, which is good. Okay, I think we just pass again. I mean, we can, depending on what happens here, we can potentially Manamorphose into Mystical Dispute. I'll have to see what they do here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I'll go for Manamorphose for blue-red. Ugh. I guess that's the punish right there. But letting them draw 2 cards seems bad for us when I don't think they have a Kaya's Guile right now. I think I'm going to hold on to this then. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to this because I don't... if we draw land, it lets us Stormwing Entity next turn, which is pretty good. So it's Jace now. Oh, Snapcaster to Esper Charm. Make us discard our last 2 cards. Okay. But, I mean, we are still in kind of a similar spot. We have lots of good top decks here. Lots of good top decks here. That's not one of them. Last Basic Mountain would not would not qualify as one of our good top decks, that's for certain. And now if they have something like a Jace, we're in trouble. Oh, it's Teferi? Yikes, yeah. It's just kind of worst case scenario. Drawing all of our basics so we don't have our blue spells unlocked if we draw them off the top is also just really rough for us here. Yeah, exactly like that. I guess if we had just Burst Lightning them and they were at 2, I guess the good news is I don't feel like we were winning this anyway then, so at least that's something. Right? Like we're in a spot where even if they're at 2, they're at effectively the same life total right now because 2 looks to be just about as infinite as 4 when we're sitting on all basic mountains. Ooh, and they have a Cling to Dust. So yeah, I think we're just done here. I don't think there's anything else that we can draw. Definitely not second opt. All right, well, that was a very unfortunate string of draws. We'll have to see if we can get there on the play this time. I think I like the way that we're boarded. Um, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that all seems okay. Just hoping to draw, maybe one more threat in that game, or potentially blue mana. Obviously, would have been nice as well too. Um, maybe we could have, tried to Manamorphose just to get lucky to find the Stormwing, and we would have had that in that previous turn when we Manamorphosed instead to Mystical Dispute. So maybe we should have just tried to get lucky. Who knows? It's tough to say. This hand just doesn't have a threat and is kind of full at 2 mana, so I think it's another mulligan, unfortunately. This is better. I think we can just put back one of these bolts, potentially. I really like having all the threats, and especially Sprite Dragon, because the Prowess essentially gets to stay on a Sprite Dragon, which makes these Manamorphose, or this Manamorphose, like, even better. So I think we keep here and just ditch one of these bolts. Which obviously is a bummer with just a one-lander, but I think is where we need to be. Find ourselves a Steam Vents, play this, and pass the turn. Hopefully we can find our land this next turn just so we can get underneath Mana Leak. That would be nice. Yeah, and especially since they had push. No, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Because now they have potential Mana Leak. Oh, or just another push. Oh, and they missed a land drop. Oh boy. Well, now I really wish we had found another one. Because we are sitting real pretty. Maybe they miss again and we get lucky. They're gonna just cling this just to draw card? Sure. They found it. Alright, I think here I'm fine with just firing off one of these bolts. Just because we're constrained on mana here. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright, well. If we die because we don't find our second land, then I guess that's what happens. I think here I'm fine with not firing one of these off now. Yeah, I think that's fine. Land. Okay. Alright. Question is who can find lands first? And the bad news is they get to discard here, and they're probably just holding on to, like, Mana Leak. If they're holding on to Mana Leak, what do we want to have Mana Leaked? What do we care about the least here? It's probably just, like, one of these Sprite Dragons, would be my guess. Yeah. Because this Stormwing can be pretty tough for them to kill if we can find another spot to land another creature. So I think these Sprite Dragons are worse threats right now. Oof, Glacial Fortress is a huge draw for them. That is big. Big, big, big. I think we just run the same thing back again. Then we hope to draw land so that we can potentially Swift Spear and then do this. Yeah, snap for push. Yeah, this is getting pretty dicey here. Yeah, if we do find ourselves a land, it would be super nice to be able to go land, Swift Spear, Manamorphose attack. Ooh, now they found another land, so they have Cryptic Command up. We're probably dead now. Man. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay. Well, they found, I mean, their one lander keep makes sense here because they found and had all of their 1 and 2 interactions. So it's definitely feeling pretty rough here, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to Lava Dart this now, get this in the yard. Alright, well, I think we're kind of forced here. This is probably just going to get countered, but maybe they'll just counter the Stormwing itself if they assume we have it. Which is probably just better. I'll put that on the bottom, I guess, at this point. I think we just want to draw more lands and other additional threats. They are down to only 3 cards left. So that's good news at least, but it looks like they have something they were considering on end step there, like maybe an Esper Charm or something. That card's probably past its best use. Not necessarily, but probably. So they probably do have a counterspell for this, but I do think we need to try it. At this point, yep, Snapcaster for Mana Leak. Yeah, they just have all their 1 and 2s, which is bad news for us. We're at turn 10 and we've still only found 2 lands, so that's definitely a bummer. We're 20 cards through the deck, just about, and only 2 lands deep. If we had a 3rd land and we got to Spell Pierce that, we'd be in a pretty solid spot, unfortunately, but we are just not there yet. Find another. Oh, this is Cryptic. Okay. Sure. I mean, that's bad for us, but it's not Cryptic. What is this? Oh, Cling to Dust or Lava Dart? That's fine. We can't go down to just 1 land here. Wow, really? They don't have a removal spell for that? That's a bit of a surprise. Very shocked by that. Okay, we found a 3rd land. That's pretty big, actually. So I guess we just attack here, and we can bolt, and then we can maybe Spell Pierce something. Yeah, maybe. Still don't like where we're at, but maybe we get fortunate and they try to like full on a Kaya's Guile, and then maybe we're okay here. Probably not, but I mean, this fetch does make me think that that's what's happening. No, they're smart. They're gonna play around it. Okay. Well, now we get to play. Now we get to play a Stormwing because we did cast a Bolt. This is probably gonna find itself countered by like an Archmage's Charm or something. Yep. Okay. Not good. Definitely not good. Whew. Ooh boy. All right. Yeah, this has been a beating. That's for sure. They have another removal spell? Okay. All right, we're dead. there's there's nothing we're gonna do about that. They found multiple Kaya's Guiles, multiple pushes, multiple Snapcasters, and multiple Mana Leaks, which are all really good cards. So to be fair, the matchup's probably just not great in general, but I think we had a decent shot in that game too had we found a blue source, and really had a good shot in that 3rd game had we found a 2nd land before they found their 5th, I think they got to. So, oh well, is what it is. I will see you in round number 2. All right, here we are with round number 2. I think this hand's a keep, actually. Expressive Iteration is a play that we'll make probably on... Okay, I think we died. That's... Oh my goodness, that is so bad for us. Okay, we're playing against some sort of mono white. I guess I'm not sure. Mono white interesting deck is how I'm gonna say it. One of the like prison style decks probably. Oh my lord, mono white enchantments I guess is for sure what it is. So here I think it's better to Lava Dart our own face to get this Stormwing down. Scry 2. I guess we do just need more threats, huh? So we'll bottom this, put this on the top, and pass. Yikes. Okay, wow, they have their absolute nut. We are... Whew, oh boy, are we dead. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we can play out this one. We can, I guess, pay for this. Wow. Yikes. This is so bad. So bad for us. Um, Hopefully they don't have, like, something else. I mean, if they have, like, another Ghostly Prison, we're just dead. If they have a Wrath, we're dead. Probably most removal spells, we're dead, too. If that comes in untapped, we're definitely dead. Oh my lord. Okay. We've got to be dead here. 5, 6, 7 mana. Enduring Ideal? Is that what's happening to us? Oh, just a Mirius Call. Cool. Yeah, sure. We can beat that. Okay. All right. Well, all right. That happened. Most definitely happened. I think here we're just looking for Spell Pierce. I don't think we have anything else that's relevant. And I guess we can just trim on Gut Shot. It's direct damage and it's our worst form of it. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll just give that a shot. Just hoping they don't start on another, Leyline plus Nykthos plus, all the stuff kind of hand. Primarily just hoping to dodge the Leyline. If we can avoid that so that their Nykthos has to actually have spells invested in it, we might be okay. But if they just rip out, Leylines, we're probably in some hot water, that's for sure. Oh, his hand's a keep. Time to find out if we're getting Leylined. Looks like we might be. Yep, most definitely are. Maybe they're just debating their keep here. We shall see. Yep. All right. Well, our burn deck's getting leylined, everybody. This is what's happening. Guess we get to... do have snow-covered lands, so we might die to a... not Chained to the Rocks. The ice version of that, the snow version of that. That would be really bad for us here. What? Okay. Blue-red. Okay. We'll make blue-red. And then we will... I think I still just want to do this. I want to hold up Spell Pierce for like an Oblivion Ring or something. Or Ghostly Prison, I guess, would be an even bigger deal. I think we probably want just like both of these, right? I want the land first. So I can go land plus these two. Yeah. So I'll go put this on top and then put this on top. Go ahead and pass. I want to hold up Spell Pierce here. Like I've been saying, I just really don't want to get run out of the game by something silly. Yeah, this is probably worth Spell Piercing. Looks like they're a little choked on lands. So we can now do this, blow this up, and get in for 6. 7, sorry. And then this next turn we have another threat. These burn spells obviously aren't great because of that ley line, but having a threat is a pretty big deal. Foretold card, so that's got to be a Doomscar. So what if we just start burning ourselves? Are they dead? Hold on. So if we play this Sprite Dragon, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they're dead. Even though we have to burn ourselves, right? Because 3, 6, yeah. Oops. All of these just represent +4 damage. And bolt ourselves. Cool. Okay, Well, have to hope we don't get got again, I guess. Maybe we want like some number of braids. Eh, I don't really love it, but maybe it's better than Burst Lightning because they're probably going to have a leyline. Yeah, I don't like this. I definitely don't like this. Uh, Leyline is just such a beating for us. My goodness. I guess these wouldn't be any better if they were just both Burst Lightnings, though, huh? So, I mean, I think this is a keep. We get to opt into opt again. Yeah, it's got to be a keep. They have the natural. Oh, my lord. They kept 7 all 3 times with a leyline. That's pretty brutal. That is pretty brutal. Oh, no second land. Okay. Love to see it. So now the question is, what do we want to do? I think we want to play this Swift Spear out. And I'm just going to opt main phase. Or rather, in combat, I guess. Just to get the damage in now. Put that on the bottom. Ah, that's a bummer. I was going to say because we don't have the Spell Pierce. But, you know, I guess we found it. So it's a bit of a bummer. Now at least we get to play this. Attack in there. Make sure I turn off these auto yields. I think I might have accidentally hit the button. Is that one fine? That one's fine because we had this abrade, right? Yeah, it's fine. Sorry, I'm just looking at this card because I don't think that it's actually very good, but it's definitely an interesting one. Destroy target artifact. Bam. Always yield. Always yield. Let's get in there. Only get to punch him for 2 this turn, but that's fine. We now have Spell Pierce as a backup, so we get to stop, I don't know, another one of these effects or a land for something, or hopefully they don't have more of these. If they just have like a hand filled with these, we could die. Or at least be in trouble, but I guess the good news is because the Prowess sticks around on this, even if we just pay 3 to neuter it, yeah, so they had 3 of them. So we still get to just kind of go off here. I think I'm going to Swift Spear and then just Expressive Iteration, I guess. Hope to find ourselves another land to play off this. So we get to put, okay, 1 in our hand. I guess, do I want to just take both these lands? No, that can't be right. Put this in our hand. Bottom of the library, this one. Exile this one. Play this one. So now we have Spell Pierce up as well, too. Which is good. And these bolts obviously aren't great because they have to target us, but whatever. Suppression Field is fine. That doesn't actually... Wait. No, that makes these cost 5, huh? I guess it's not so fine. Not so fine. And then we can destroy one of these this turn. Ooh, okay. Just gonna make red, I think. Red. So we have blue here if we need it. Okay. Go ahead and sack one of these. Just get a mountain in case they do have suppression field. Bam. And then do we want to just, I guess we just bolt ourselves here. And we can just do it again. Not worried about them having some sort of like direct damage or something, so. Put them down to 1. Now they have to have 2 removal spells. Yeah, sweet. Or I guess they had a Foretold card, so they could have Doomscarred us, which would have been rough, but... Alright. interesting mono white enchantment prison deck that we were able to get through 3 ley lines. And I will see you in round number 3. Alright, round number 3, and we have won the die roll. Sweet. It's always good, especially with a deck like this. Looks like they're choosing to show us their companion, which they in fact are. No landers, easy mulligans. Yeah, this is a keep. I think I'm just going to bottom the Expressive Iteration. Is that wrong? That's probably wrong. I'm going to bottom a land. Just bottom the land, hope that we get to pull off the Manamorphose Stormwing combo, and if we don't, then at least on turn 3 we can, like, Expressive Iteration and do something, maybe. We'll see. But with the Lurrus deck and targeting us, that does make me feel that they have a discard spell. If they have a discard spell, they definitely just get to take the Stormwing entity, and that's a problem. Saw our top card. Wonder what it is. Would you like to share? Would you like to tell me what it is, opponent? I would love to know. Ooh, no discard spell, so we do get to do the thing. I can yield to this. Ooh, so they know about a Monastery Swiftspear. Okay. But I think I would much rather get a Stormwing down. A land next turn, if we can scry into one, would be pretty sweet. I think these both have to hit the bottom. Yeah, because if we find a land, we can, like, Swiftspear and do some things. Ooh, okay, that's a bummer. Well, I guess now it will be Burst Lightning plus another Stormwing. Hope they don't have second Bolt. Will be good. Or we could Expressive Iteration, hope to find a land, put a land Monastery Swiftspear. That would be pretty sweet. Is this like a Grixis Shadow list? That would be interesting. Definitely be interesting. Guess we can top both these, honestly. Because even if they kill this with another bolt, which that would be a bummer, but even if they do kill this with another bolt, we get to go Swiftspear, Manamorphose, Mutagenic Growth, Expressive Iteration, all in the same turn, which is pretty sweet. That's quite a bit of damage as well, too. Ooh, it's like a 4-color Shadow deck. Or is this Aspiring Spikes, like, Bring to Light Lurrus deck? Maybe? Maybe. Okay. See what they have for us here. It's like a Liliana or something? No, I guess it can't be. Oh, Snapcaster for Bolt. Wow, okay. I have genuinely no idea what's happening right now. No idea what is happening right now. The fact they were able to kill 2 Stormwings is pretty rough. Yeah, I guess we just do this now. So, one in my hand. I guess I want the Expressive Iteration. One on the bottom can be this Mutagenic Growth, or do we want the land? I guess it's got to be the land. It's the card we want to keep. The card we want to play, because otherwise they just get to, like, for free, just block the Swiftspear, which they might do anyway, but, I mean, the card would do actual nothing if we put it into exile, because they just block with it. I'm curious to see what exactly it is they're doing. Breeding Pool is not what I was expecting by any means. Yeah, so they're just going to block anyway. So the Mutagenic Growth would have been pretty close to worthless. Have to see what else is going on with them. I have to imagine they're Fatal Push deck. So this Swiftspear probably isn't super long for this world. Tarmogoyf. 4-color Lurrus, looks like. Maybe a Shadow deck, potentially. and leaving up push mana. So what are we hoping to draw here? Oh, okay. Guess just about any threats. Not that, that's for sure. Oof, boy. Take an opt-in hand, bottom of library, exile, and then we can opt off this. Bolt doesn't do anything right now. As I said, Bolt does not do anything right now. I think I'm just gonna pass. I don't want to opt and find a the Stormwing entity. I would much rather. Yeah, I guess we just go Bolt face here. I didn't want to opt and find Stormwing entity because if we did that, you know, they get to just. Well, here they'd be taking it with the Thoughtseize, but we wouldn't get to play it off the opt, which would be a bummer. Yep. So you know about our Manamorphose. Okay, so just a 4-color Luris Shadow. Interesting. With Snapcasters in it. That is something, I will say that much. See what we can find off this. Because we're just dead, right? In your hand, bottom, exile. Goodness. See what we draw. Lava Darts don't do anything. So now we have to Manamorphose and see if we can find something. I have to make blue-red here, because I think we need to find, like... No, I won't do it. That's a bummer. Interesting. 4-color Luris Shadow. Not what I was anticipating out of this league, that's for sure. We've ran into some interesting ones. So, what do I want against a 4-color Luris Shadow? Probably want some of these cards and these cards, would be my guess. We might even want Bedlam Reveler, although I don't know what their graveyard hate would potentially look like. Although it's, you know, not great against us in the first place, so I'd be a little surprised. And then I kind of want to just take out, for a similar reason to before, because of removal spells, I kind of want to take out the Gut Shots. I want to take out the Burst Lightnings because the direct damage is not fantastic. And then I want to take out the Mutagenic Growths. I think that seems fair. Yeah, that all seems fine. Seems fine. We'll see what our draws look like here, but hoping for a another like Stormwing draw, but maybe we can save it so that we can Stormwing and have a spell up, so that way they can't die to Bolt. We didn't really have that luxury before. So we'll see. That would be pretty nice, though. Because I have to imagine Stormwing is pretty hard for them to kill in their deck outside of Bolt. Okay, so we have nothing going on here. So we have to mulligan. I guess we keep here. Just put back the Lava Dart, I suppose. It's pretty unlikely that we're going to be able to, like, double dart them anytime soon, so I think that's probably the best. The awkward part is, like, how, you know, all out do we go with this Swift Spear on turn 2? I think the answer is not super far. I don't want to be the one to put them down to, you know, 10 or whatever to turn on Shadows, potentially. But we'll see what they have going on, and that's obviously going to determine kind of where we're at. See what you got. It's push time. Oh, just Inquisition. So that probably... This gives us an idea, right? Like, if they take this Aether Gust, they probably just have, like, a Tarmogoyf. Yeah. So they must have a Tarmogoyf. Gust again? Gust? No. So now what we could do is if we fire off, like, 1 bolt, we could do that, and 5 them, put them to 12. Because then this other bolt could potentially still take out, like, a Shadow, which I kind of like. even if they have a Goyf right now, it's not very big, so we can save this fetch land if they have a Goyf, and then untap and just bolt it. Because there's only instant and sorcery right now. And if they have a land, okay, that's fine. Then this Lava Dart plus this bolt get to tag up to take out a Goyf, which is actually pretty nice for us. Yeah, this is a 3/4. So we'll get to take that out. But it does mean if they have like a follow-up shadow or something that it's going to be a bit rough for us. That's a pretty good draw, though. Get in there for 3. And yeah, now we're just hoping they don't have, Death Shadow specifically. It could be pretty rough for us here. Because those are pretty huge blockers. But I have a feeling that they would have... Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, another Tarmogoyf. Okay. That's a bit rough. Now, if there's a creature in the yard, too. Gust is pretty good, actually. I'm going to actually pass. We could Gust and then attack for 2 and put them down to 6, but I'm going to pass because I'm going to Gust this Tarmogoyf in response to their fetch land whenever they decide to crack it. So now they don't get to keep it on top, which is pretty sweet. So now we'll see where they put it, but it doesn't matter because they are going to have to shuffle. Yeah, they put it on top, but it doesn't matter because they're shuffling their library right now. And then we have this Expressive Iteration is, not nothing. Hopefully they don't have another Goyf, though. Goyf number 3. Oh, my lord. Come on. Come on. That is brutal. Boy. And they have stub. Oh my lord. Yikes. This has been a brutal league. I'm not gonna lie. We've kind of run into some perfects from our opponents. And some misfortune on our part. And the combination has not been pretty for us so far. They are getting in there. So they have, there's no way they have another Goyf, right? It's got to be like Scourge. Really? Now I'm wishing I had sequenced out differently because I really wish I had that Manamorphose this turn instead of this Expressive Iteration. Although they're probably just gonna... No? I was gonna say they're probably just gonna stub and then push this, which would be rough. Okay, put this one in hand. This one on the bottom. Exile this one. Play this one. Can attack. Yeah, they have a push. Or decay, probably. Oh, trophy. Oh, cool. So now we get to... Sweet. Now we get to Stormwing Entity, and we have a Lava Dart in the graveyard to protect it, which is actually awesome. I guess I want both of those. Top. Yeah, those both seem pretty good. We only have 2 cards in hand, so it's pretty unlikely they have a card that kills this Stormwing. Looks like they might. Oh, Drown in a Lock. Wow. Oof. Down to 1 card in hand. And it's another good one. Oh, it's just Lava Dart. Or it's just Thoughtseize. That's fine. Thoughtseize to take our Lava Dart, drops them down to 5. They're pretty close to dead now. Because we have this Expressive Iteration on top. So we'll draw that. Get to cast this. One of them will be the Opt. Okay, so we get to go Swift Spear in hand. Islet on the bottom. This in exile. And I think they are dead. Sure, we'll keep that on top. Lava Dart you. Sack a Mountain. Yay! We did it! Well, we'll see if we can do it again. I don't think I want... Well, no, I probably want Spell Pierce, actually, now that we saw a little more about what they're doing. I'm going to cut this and... just one of these Lava Darts, I guess. Oops, I did not get to submit with that change. That is a bummer. Went a little too quick, but not the end of the world. I like having the Spell Pierce against their trophies and drowns, now that we know that they have both of those, which seems interesting. Definitely is interesting. Yeah, I'll keep this hand. This obviously, like, against a Thoughtseize to take our Stormwing could be a little awkward, but 2 lands, Expressive Iteration, and Manamorphose all seems pretty much gas from here. One thing to consider maybe with this Expressive Iteration idea is that it is nice to get around discard spells with Light Up the Stage, because Expressive Iteration, you have to do it, like, the same turn. You have to cast the card the same turn, whereas Light Up the Stage, it gets kind of, like, sit in limbo, which is kind of cool. So who knows? So they liked their top card. I guess probably a Tarmogoyf. That would make some sense here. Tarmogoyf would definitely make sense here. Because it can't be Scourge. Yep. So it's a 2/3. They already have a land, so us cracking this doesn't change anything. I guess I could have Lava Darted them there. If I had Lava Darted them, then I could protect this from a Bolt. But they don't have any red mana. So I think it's more likely that they have, like, Stubborn Denial. So I'm going to go for this line. And just get the Stormwing out there right now. It's a lot of lands. Yeah, both of these are good, actually. Both of those are good, just because they let us start to make this Tarmogoyf smaller. Which means that our Prowess creatures can get through it pretty effectively. Okay, well, if they fetch for a red lane and Bolt, I'm going to feel pretty sad here, but that would drop them all the way down to 14, so at least that means something, but still would be a bummer. Next turn, we get to potentially Expressive Iteration plus land and, whatchamacallit, plus land and one of the Soul Scars. We get to put one of them, well, we draw one. Yeah, they have a red source. Yikes, so we are getting bolted here. Man, that does feel pretty bad. But they had to have both, red source and bolt to make that happen at all, so maybe here it's just going to be, maybe I lied. Actually, I'm just going to play Soul Scar and pass. And if they go to try to kill this Soul Scar, we can put some -1/-1 counters on the Goyf in response. We have another one of these on top, which is something to keep in mind. So we could go full out and sack 2 lands here to, like, kill this Tarmogoyf. I don't think we need to do that. Like, turning it down to a 2/3 is a pretty big deal. The question is if we want to go one more time to turn it down into a 1/2. I think we can. Yeah, I think we can do that once. It's pretty small now. Our clock has been diminished by quite a bit, which is pretty nice. And then we can let that happen. We have 3 cards left. Hoping one of them is not like an Inquisition. Inquisition could be pretty rough for us. Or if it's just like attack and then double Scourge, that could be pretty scary too, because we're probably pretty close to dead to double Scourge. Yeah, it might be. Okay. Death Shadow is a 2/2. We have this on top. I think we need to Expressive Iteration here. Oh, they have a Stubborn Denial? That's a bummer. Could have played around that, I suppose. I'll play this and just pass, because I want to be able to Soul Scar plus do something with it. Would be pretty nice. Definitely glad we shrunk this Goyf as much as we did because it is like pretty huge otherwise. Down to 10. Go ahead and find a steam vents here. 2 cards left. Yikes. Okay. Start on a Swift Spear. Hope that they like drown this in a lock. Nope. Okay. See what they do now. I'm not gonna attack. Snapcaster for Fatal Push on our Soulscar Mage. Okay. Okay. I don't think we need to respond to that. I am on their upkeep going to try to kill their Snapcaster Mage with this Lava Dart. To get the Prowess triggered defensively because maybe we're in a spot where they don't get to lose life here and we get to stop this Death Shadow from attacking, which could be nice. I think we're kind of up a creek here though. Like they have quite a bit going on, all their different colors, and oh lord, this is definitely an interesting deck. I have to say that much. This deck is not something I would have expected. I'm curious if this is something that's been like doing well. Ooh, how much does this cost? Are you serious? Oh, because we hit all our lava darts. I mean, I guess, I guess that's the reason not to do exactly what we did, huh? Boy. You know, some days you just get punished, right? Like, there are just going to be days where no matter what you do, things just aren't going to break your way. And maybe that's just us today, right? Like, it kind of feels, all right, and we're just dead. Uh, Kind of feels so far like every turn we've taken, we've kind of ran ourselves into a wall. So, fortunate to even be 1-2, I suppose, with the luck that we've been having so far. And you know, maybe that's just kind of how things are running today. So I'll be back. We'll see if we can salvage this into a potential 3-2 in the last couple of matches here. All right, here we are for round number 4 with Expressive Prowess. Taking another mulligan here. We did win the die roll though, so that is pretty solid for us here. Now we need to figure out what we want to put to the bottom. That's a little tricky. I think it's just going to be Soulscar Mage. We could run into a problem where if they have like multiple removal spells, that could feel a little bad, but I think that realistically, I like that because it means that we can 1-drop in a double. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe I just put the op to the bottom. So I put the op to the bottom, I get to 1-drop into double 1-drop, which is pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna try that. Pass. We'll find out what our opponent is doing over here pretty shortly, I'm sure. See what they're on and how we need to sequence things, because we do have the option of, you know, if they're a deck that probably does not have Wraths, playing both creatures next turn, or we could potentially hold up Bolt if we think there's something something a little more aggressive, and we need to be able to counteract that. Who knows? Let's see what our opponent's doing. Flooded Strand, so probably Esper Control. That does make me want to kind of just double spell here with the 1-drop creatures. I know that they could have Supreme Verdict, but I think at this point we're just going to try to kill them before that happens. Or if they're not dead, put them in a spot where... Oh, this is Nikachu. Oh, they're playing Merfolk. Duh. Well, that's something. Probably could have paid attention to that, but at least this way we get to... Ooh, that's a solid draw. We have quite a bit of options here. Can do this. Always yield. Always yield. Okay. We make blue-red just in case we find ourselves the bird. We did not. And then I think we'll do this. And I guess we could just... I guess the awkward part is with this Mariner, regardless of what we want to bolt, we have to use our mana now. I wonder if it's just bolt Mariner, get in for 9, drop them to 9. I think I like that. Yes. Get in for 9. Bam. Big fan. GL to you too. Also recording for. Alright. We shall see what his follow-up is. Drop it down to 6. Okay. Skyclave. That's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I think now bolts are pretty good. Ooh, Lava Dart's pretty good. What if we go... If we attack and then Lava Dart their face twice, they drop to 1? Or we could go Lava Dart, and they should be dead, right? That's exactly 6? I believe so. Yep. Sweet. Moving on to a sideboarded game. So probably a matchup where K-Return and Abrades are all pretty good. Maybe even this Vapor Snag could potentially be nice. Mystical Dispute could be okay, but assuming that this is Blue-White Merfolk, which I can only imagine, there's probably some number of vials and caverns. Not like a whole ton of caverns, but some number of caverns, and I just don't want to get stuck with something like that in our hand. I'd much rather handle the board than anything else, so I think we'll try that. Gut shots and mutagenic growth are not going to be great, especially post-board once again when, removal spells are being brought in. So that's not going to be great for us. I almost wonder if we want to just like trim some number of ops or iterations because they're just cantrips, and I think this is a matchup where we want to be going pretty fast to kind of close things out or be interacting pretty well. So if we do that, because we're putting in a couple more expensive cards, I would kind of want to put in or take out the iterations in some number. So maybe we'll just try trimming like 2 of these and see how that feels. On the draw, maybe on the play, we can swap that or change that out, but I think that seems best for us here. These K-returns should be pretty good. There's probably Auriok Champions in the sideboard, considering that's currently one of the best sideboard cards in Modern, or I guess if you're playing Heliod, one of the best main deck cards. So yeah, I think... Oh, sweet. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be pretty good. Have to see kind of what Nikachu's start is out of the gate here. This is a pretty solid hand, though. I mean, we are a little land heavy. Definitely going to hope that they don't start on Aether Vial so that they can't, like, double spell super efficiently. But, I mean, kept 7, so I can only imagine their hand's pretty good regardless of if they have a Vial or not. So that could potentially be pretty rough. Could be pretty rough. We'll have to kind of see what's going on, though. I mean, maybe it's like Curse Catcher or something, or the one drop, like Mausoleum Wanderer, or Judge's Familiar or something. No, okay, it is Vial. Well, that's a bummer, but... Ooh, that's a good draw. Our flyer matters quite a bit here. I'm also going to play this Steam Vents as our last land if I can avoid it, to avoid Island Walk, because these Scalding Tarns can find mountains, and that's totally fine for us. Alright, so this is coming down again. It's interesting. the card art and the color schemes don't exactly work on Moto for Wanderwine Hub. That is interesting. Okay. Well, we'll have to see what the line is, but it's probably playing this Unsettled Mariner so that we can't just kind of go crazy this next turn, which is fine because we can fetch a mountain, play the Sprite Dragon, and then we're kind of in the business of let's just hope that you know, they don't have another Skyclave Apparition. Kind of where we're at. We'll have to see. Burst Lightning is a decent draw. Just these 1-mana removal spells are pretty good against this Unsettled Mariner in general. I guess this line could be a bit of a rough one if they do have a whatchamacallit, if they do have a second Unsettled Mariner, that could potentially make this a little rough. Like if they untap and, you know, play another one, or a Glasspool Mimic for another one. Either one of those could be a little tricky, because then we'd be kind of in a spot where, like, you know, our whole turn is going to be taken up. Yeah, it looks like they might have one. Oh, Chalice on one. Oof. Okay. That's going to be rough. I guess we still get our Prowess, so it doesn't do nothing, but it's pretty close to nothing. Now we're looking to hopefully find an Abrade here. No. So I guess the question is, how hard are we just going to fire off here? What, they have 3 cards. I think we need a race here, so I think we are just going to go for it. So even though this does get countered, we do still get all of our triggers. Target this, although it doesn't matter. Yep. No. Yeah, this is definitely tricky. But what I'm trying to do is set us up for a spot now where if we can get in a decent chunk of damage, this flyer might be able to kind of finish the game out. That being said, we're playing pretty hard into a Skyclave apparition if they have one here. That would be a pretty huge beating. That's for certain. Skyclave would be very, very rough for us here. But the hope with attacking for 4 and dropping them down to 10 is that, dealing another 4 could be potentially really awesome for us. Let's draw a card off that one. That's pretty good. Dropping them down to 6, it means that if we do draw anything that triggers Prowess this next turn, it looks like they have a Skyclave, so it doesn't matter. Bummer. I was going to say if we triggered anything to deal with Prowess, oh, we didn't. Okay. We get to attack in there. Oh boy, is this another Lord? 4-8. So now we are pretty close to dead. Keep in mind that they do not have unblockable yet, so that is important. If we trigger something for Prowess here, the good news is we get to put them to a 2-turn clock. Well, I suppose they have us dead, huh? So I think we're just dead here. Yeah, I think so. Yep, we'll just pack that one in. Rough. Looking for an Abrade, I suppose, would be pretty solid. Do we want to change anything then? Do we want, like, Spell Pierce to try to fight against that? Maybe? Their deck's filled with creatures, though. I mean, that seems rough. I think what I will do is I'll swap these out for the ops on the play to hedge a little bit there, and then we'll see what happens. Just to try to make it a little bit less rough for us if they land a Chalice, making sure that our cantrips cost 2 instead of 1. Plus, being on the play, they can cost 1 more mana, and we can still kind of play them on the same curve without being super upset about it. So that would be nice, too. Yeah, definitely looking for an Abrade would be a pretty sweet one in our opening hand. Do not have it. Don't have a land either, so I guess we'll just mulligan away. This one is fine. We have a bird. I think we just put a Manamorphose back. We just get to play the bird on turn 2, which is pretty solid for us here. So then we still have a variety of other things that are pretty nice for us as well too. Being able to Expressive Iteration after that, depending on what our scry is, we can potentially bolt something here. Can't bolt that. Yeah, I'll make blue-red. And then, ooh, that's a good draw too. Ooh, yeah, let's go top. Because we are going to want another land at some point. And this Manamorphose is going to be pretty solid for us, I think. We'll have to see exactly what happens here, but the hope is that this bird will get to untap with it, and then, yeah, okay, Unsettled Mariner is fine. So we can... How do you want to play this out? Because of Mariner, we can't double 2-drop, or 2-drop plus 1-drop, so I think I'm going to Sprite Dragon and attack here. And then next turn we can Expressive Iteration, make our land drop. Well, I guess we can Manamorphose into Expressive Iteration, make our land drop plus Bolt, which should be pretty good. Probably like pretty close to lethal. Of course, this is aside from something like a Chalice or I don't know, Skyclave to take out our flyer here. Doesn't look like they have it. Okay. Is this... Okay, it is cast, so they don't get to untap anything yet, which is good. I wonder if this is just another Lord. Yeah, another Lord would be a little bit rough because then we can't bolt this to take it off the table. That's a little tricky. Okay. So I'll have to do some math here and see if they actually are dead. They could have Force and Negation, which would be a pretty big problem for us. So if we Manamorphose, that's 4, 5, 6. Expressive Iteration is 7, 8. Bolt is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're one short as it sits right now, but that's without our other cards here that we're getting to draw off these other things. So we'll see. If they do have Force, this is obviously going to be pretty gross, but, you know, not too much we could do about that, all things said and done. Looks like they are indeed forcing us. Okay. So now, how do we need to recoup this? We could play a land, and we could bolt the Marrow Reejery. That would force us to take 1 damage. We then attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, drop them to 6, and then we would have them potentially dead the next turn, or we would have them dead the next turn. So, yeah, I think that's our line, because I think we just have to try not to die this turn, and this one is the best one for them right now. Yes, we will pay. Go ahead and attack for 8. Drop them to 6. And then they are dead without us even having to cast anything this next turn. They have 5 power on the board. So they could potentially, like, now if they do have a Skyclave, that could be a little rough maybe. But Expressive Iteration might be able to pull some work, combined with something like a Bolt or a Burst Lightning to kind of close the game out. We'll have to see. We will have to see. They did keep Vile on 2, which, you know, they did only have... Whew. Alright, that's a little scary. Now what does a Lord mean? Oh, okay, gotcha. Nothing. Phew! That was definitely scary. Well, yeah, we will see you in round number 5 after facing off against the Merfolk Master there. Alrighty, well, here we are with some more blue-red expressive prowess. This hand's not great, but I'm going to keep it because there are lots of draws that let us, you know, Manamorphose lets us Stormwing on 2, but we also could potentially, you know, we can play this out where we Lava Dart them, and then on our turn, sack Lava Dart, hit their face Stormwing, maybe. Just a little less than stellar, but might be okay. This might be like Yawgmoth combo. It is Yawgmoth combo. Okay. I think when they attack, I am going to Lava Dart this. I know that, like, technically makes it bigger, but not taking damage here, plus I think this affects their combo quite a bit. Oh, snap. Well, that makes me regret that quite a bit. Now I guess we just play that out. Well, shoot, that's a bummer. That would have been much better. Oh well. So now our interaction of, like, Lava Dart is unfortunate against these Undying creatures because they will always get -1/-1 counters on them. And when they get -1/-1 counters on them, that will counteract the +1/+1 counters. And the way that Undying works is if it didn't have a +1/+1 counter on it, return it. So the rough part is here, if we deal damage to any of their creatures to kill them, if it has Undying, it will always come back. So that's less than ideal. Spellskite. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. So see what we draw here. Lava Manamorphose would be pretty sweet. Oh, that's fine too. Yes, please. And I think I will still save that for next turn so that we can play another Stormwing next turn. Bottom. I think we can keep that. And we get to attack here because if they do want to block, we get to Lava Dart this, which puts a counter on it, and then they trade for each other, which is totally fine with us. So we do get to attack here for pretty close to free. With the amount of lands we have in hand too, I think this is a totally fine trade for us. Them having 2 peat lands to start too is pretty good for us, I think. See what they've got going on. Nothing here. Sorry, my Moto's been interesting recently where it won't always send me like the yellow notification for oh, I had yielded through the turn. They totally could have blocked. Oops. It won't always send me like the yellow notification on my messages saying that I have a message. Sometimes it'll just stay white. Okay. Okay. Well, I am going to try to Lava Dart that bird. Because they probably have to pay 2 life to save it. Or if they don't, that's also probably fine for us. Because they've got to be setting up to just try to combo kill us here. So let's see what we get. We'll opt first. Would love some sort of damage. Swift Spear. So what if we go land, Swift Spear? Land, Swift Spear, Manimal first Lava Dart. So Swift Spear attacks for 3. Soul Scar attacks for 4. Stormwing attacks for 6. But they get to block. But we force them to block. So that's probably good enough. Sure. Okay. Blue, red. Yeah, well, I think we still just Stormwing here. Although, if we Sprite Dragon, can we kill them? Probably not because of their bird, right? So if we play Sprite Dragon instead, because we could just hardcast Stormwing, assuming that we live through next turn. If we play out the Sprite Dragon, we're attacking for 4, 10, 13, 15. And we get to potentially Lava Dart the bird. 15 plus doing that. That actually might be better. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Yeah. Stack all these. So they can choose to pay 2 life to keep this around. But then they're going to have to block with something else. So they drop down to 10. They're taking 8 in the air, which means they have to block both of these creatures on the ground. And if they have to block both of them on the ground, then their Geist will have to die. This Undying one. Or I suppose they could block both of these and just have that die. Yeah, so actually maybe we will die if they have... Well, but they can't tap their lands, though. If they do that. So I think because they can't tap their lands, if they block that way, we're probably fine here. Because they have to keep their Wall of Roots and their bird alive. And their Geist. And they can't really do all of that. Looks like we have 8 coming in here. They could throw the bird in front of our Stormwing. They throw the bird in front of our Stormwing. They're still taking quite a bit, though. We'll see. depends entirely on what they have in their hand. But my thought is that we should be in a pretty solid spot here because they don't really get to tap these peatlands anymore, which really is going to be kind of an unfortunate symptom for our opponent of how this or why this game ended the way it did. Because had they had, let's say Blooming Marshes or something else that produced mana without taking damage, they've tapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. They've taken damage. So they would be at 16 still, and if they were at 16, this game's completely different right now. Completely different. So they block there, and they are going to trade that away. Okay. Interesting. Oh, do they have Chord here? Okay, so they get to Chord for another Wall of Roots, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they Chord for another Wall of Roots, and then maybe we just die? Yikes. Yeah, if they have Wall of Roots and then they have land, I don't know exactly the way that this combo works, but I think they get to like pay life for every card or something like that. I think they need 2. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Wow. Okay. That's big game. Them gaining 3 life off of that matters quite a bit, actually. I don't know if it means that they'll be able to win the game, but it definitely prolongs it. That's for sure. Now we're looking for like a bolt to the face potentially, or maybe even something just to take out this cutthroat. Okay, they do have another wall. Hopefully not into another birds. Wow, and they're attacking with both. 4 damage. Okay. I guess we just do this, huh? It's got to be pretty good. And then get in there. And now if we lava dart that, that should die, correct? Drop to 4/3. No, it doesn't. So I guess we just lava dart our opponent. And I think they're dead, right? Yep. Bam. Got him. All right, Yawgmoth combo. Okay, so we're looking for things that interact. A Braid is pretty good. K-Return might be okay. I wonder if Aether Gust is alright. Probably. Maybe it's better than K-Return. Vapor Snag might be fine. We also could bring in some of these, potentially. We shall see. Just gonna take out some of this direct damage. That isn't the best. And then kind of see from there what we want to do. I'm kind of feeling like it might be some cantrips on the draw again. Like it might just be expressive iterations. Give that a shot. I like that a Braid gets to tag everything. Although, what is Yawgmoth? Is Yawgmoth an X4? I think so. I think Yawgmoth is an X4. Let me look that up real quick. It is an X4. All right. We have lots of interaction here. I think we're actually just going to keep this. Like this hand is pretty darn hard for them to combo through. It's just all removal spells, basically. Okay. Would love to find ourselves, like, probably Stormwing would be our best draw, followed closely by the dragon, would be my guess. Sweet, we got swamps. I'm just going to do this now, just use our mana. Nah, we can just play this one. I don't want to play that tapped and then have them play something that we want to abrade here, because it's pretty likely that they're going to go wall into something. If they go wall into something that we could abrade, That might be kind of nice. Interesting that they wouldn't play that the other way around. I guess they're holding that up to protect this against a lava dart, I suppose, is what they're doing. Guess that's what's happening here. Are you gonna cord for another one? Okay, well that one will die to lava dart. So that's good at least. Sure, just doing it now to gain their life. Alright, well that's pretty good. I hate when Urborg's out and it makes everything have to tap twice. Blue, red, play this. Bottom, top. Pay 2 life because I want to be able to hold up some forms of interaction and pass. We'll see if they have like a Yawgmoth. Well, that presents like a decent amount of cards, but it's nowhere near infinite right now, so that's good at least. Yeah, it looks like they do have one. Okay. Okay. So they're just going to be shrinking this, I suppose. How do we want to break this up? We could bolt this right now. Yeah. Because now this will kill it, or they can sack their Wall of Roots to do this again, but then they're sacrificing Wall of Roots. So basically we're bolting one of these creatures. One of these creatures is going to be gone. Then when we untap, we'll get to a Braid plus Lava Dart down the Yawgmoth, which is pretty good. Lord, they have another cord? Yikes. Okay, this is pretty bad, because now they get to grab another young wolf. Use that young wolf to now do this same thing. That's a problem. Okay, so our Stormwing is going to die, and now I think we're not dead, right? Because they don't have like infinite life or anything, but they do get to pay 1 life to draw as many cards as they want. Right? Doesn't 2 undying creatures go close to infinite? No? Okay. Alright, well, I will braid this and lava dart it. And we'll pass, but they're set up pretty well now that they have, a bunch of cards in hand and they're only at 13 life. Or they are still at 13 life, I should say. That second cord was pretty rough. I don't know if there's too much we could have done about that. I think I like trying to break up that combo right there, because that's the only card that punishes us, but tough to know for sure. If they're going for like a Geralf's Messenger or something. Yeah, tapping those filter lands is not easy. Maybe they're just getting aggro. Just trying to get it done. That's fair. We're on a 3-turn clock and we don't have anything going on. So buy that. Let's see, what do we want to draw here? That's fine. We don't want to fetch because we have Urborg, so this still produces mana here. Okay, that's probably a pretty decent start. They should probably try to eat our Lava Dart and respond. No? Interesting. Okay. So I guess we can just pass here. Because we can potentially bolt this Yeah. This Snapcaster, or not Snapcaster, the Scavenging Ooze, we can bolt the Scavenging Ooze. Probably just have to Lava Dart their face, I guess. Yeah, not in a good spot, but at least we'll get to do some things here. We don't really get to break up if they have another like solid combo piece. If they have another Yawgmoth, I think we're pretty close to dead. But if they don't have that, maybe we can find a way out of this. Ripping more bolts or gusts or things like that potentially. They're paying costs, so ugh. Okay, that's not good. I don't like that attack from them because I get to just Lava Dart one of these and then kill the other one. But then they both come back. But I suppose if we draw basically any spell, we're in a good spot. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to hope that we can find ourselves with a spell. Hopefully we get a spell on the top. Hopefully it's not one of our graveyard pieces of interaction to make me regret using this already. That would be a bummer as well too. Okay. Okay, so we're probably dead now. That's a big oof. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop that. Oh well. Looking for a slightly more aggressive play here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have, a couple of different chords and combo pieces. Maybe we can get away with that. I don't think we want Spell Pierce, although it does answer chord. That's probably the only card in their deck. Maybe they have like some number of pushes or trophies or decays or something, but wouldn't be able to tag the decays, and I think that we're just better served being proactive instead of reactive. Yeah, I'll keep this. Sounds pretty sweet. Excuse me. We get to potentially Vapor Snag on 1 for like a bird. And then play out ourselves a Stormwing on 2, and then on turn 3, Expressive Iteration. I mean, that's a pretty solid draw on our part. This is assuming that they don't have a way to take out the Stormwing, of course, but still would be pretty nice. Nothing from them. Just glad they didn't play an Urborg, so we don't have to worry about that. Ooh, that's a solid draw too, because that'll probably answer something that they're doing. And I guess we'll just top both again. That seems like a pretty solid turn next turn. We get to Manamorphose into play another Stormwing, hold up Vapor Snag. That all seems pretty good for us here. So it's a bird too. Okay. So now, question is, which one do we Vapor Snag? And I think it's probably the bird. See what we draw here, though. I don't think we want that. We do want this, however. So now we can just Vapor Snag. I guess this one's better in the face of Chord Calling. Get in there, and then next turn we can potentially Expressive Iteration. If we find a land, we could potentially opt and bolt too. We'd have to find a blue land for that, but we at the very least we get to bolt in addition to what we're doing. Alternatively, we could opt for a land, a Braid Bolt. And 3 Prowess triggers means that we're dealing. Well, I suppose if they don't have another lethal blocker or another flying blocker, that would be lethal. So that would be pretty good. Could potentially be pretty good. Okay, they'll play that back out. Have a land. White mana. What is this? Oh, yeah, for white mana. I guess that's just a mana, I suppose. Ooh, evolution. Okay, so to go find themselves. Oh, what? Okay. Okay. I cannot say that I was expecting that. So I guess we just go to combat. And we're going to have to bolt this down. So do we want to bolt or a braid? I think we want to braid, actually. And then opt. Yes, we do want another land. Okay. I suppose I could have waited because of the abrade on there. Yeah, maybe that was better to wait and not give them a second spider, but my hope is that that shouldn't matter. That is a sweet card. That is quite some tech against us, that's for certain. Okay. Then a messenger. Okay. This is non-token creature, right? Oh, it's just any creature. Yikes. Okay. So I'm going to start on iteration here. One card to hand. I guess it's probably the... Guess it's probably the abrade in hand. Bottom, exile, and then play this. And then we have multiple things up. We have bolt plus abrade up. So we can go to combat. We can attack. They're probably going to throw both of these under the bus, and then we can just abrade this cutthroat in response. So that they're not going to get that much life. So this only happened once instead of twice plus whatever they're doing. And we still have a bolt up to potentially mess with something else that they're doing. That could be a little rough. Question is, if they play a Yawgmoth, what do we have to do? Do we have to kill this Geralf's Messenger in response? Maybe. We'll see what they have. We shall see. Hopefully they don't have another one of these these spider things. That card, yikes. That's pretty tough for us to get through. Hopefully it's just a one-of to be able to find off of Cord and Eldritch Evolution, but it's tough to know for sure. Card is pretty good. So we're going to attack first, which I'm sure is just purely correct. And if they pass, it means Cord, which would be a problem. Could be Cord for 2. That's what that would mean. It's just Eldritch Evolution again. How is this worded? So you're going to find anything that's a 3-drop here? Okay. Probably just grabbing another Druid, right? Oh, okay. So what if we bolt this in response to the trigger? Does that do anything? Not really. Nothing that we couldn't do on our turn anyway, so I think that's fine. Because we can still bolt this now. Just going to make red here. Okay, are they dead now? 5, 6, 7. They're exactly dead right now. Yeah, maybe. Sweet. All right, well, there we are. Salvaged ourselves a 3-2. Picked up 1 QP out of all that work. Like I said, it was a bit of a rough run for that league. Definitely not an ideal situation, but kind of just made the most out of it. Excuse me. Played against some really interesting decks that league. Not really what I would consider to be like the top of the modern meta for some of them, but I think that makes it a little more interesting, right? To try it against like different brews and interesting decks people have and things like that. I think that kind of makes it fun sometimes. So all in all, testing out Expressive Iteration, I mean, it feels pretty close to the same as Light Up the Stage. I guess you don't have to deal the damage, which makes it better sometimes, but you also have to cast a spell the same turn, so I'm still not 100% positive which way I want to run with it, but it seems good. It seems perfectly fine. You can definitely be playing this instead of Light Up the Stage, and it's not an embarrassment. Um, I think I'll do some more testing in the future to figure out if I really like it or if we're just kind of gonna stick with Light Up the Stage. But that was the next iteration of Lone Rider, chasing down some QPs here, a series where I'm trying to find as many of these stubborn little qualifying points as I possibly can, looking to hopefully get to 40 of those things so that way we can, put ourselves in a spot where we can enter one of those super qualifier thingies or whatever. Anyway, I will catch you later. Thank you so much for watching.